just came outside and I saw something that I wanted to share with y'all. It's a tarantula hawk. You can see how big the tarantula hawk is here, and I'm going to give you a closer look in a minute. And Falaka also tried to snatch this out of the air, as she is prone to do with bees and wasps. So I had to scold her because this one would have given her a nasty sting. Those tarantula hawks have a lot of stinging power. They're really, that's all they seek out are tarantulas. They're not real aggressive, but if you get stung by one, it hurts. I just saw it land again. I'm going to show you what it looks like. There it is on the ground there. And it's looking for a tarantula right now. That is a tarantula hawk. So it's looking for a spider, and you can just see how big the suckers are. I mean, it's like 3 times the size of a regular wasp. And so when you see one, you know what it is. You can't mistake it. But it'll search around until it finds one, and then it'll lay an egg. It'll sting the tarantula and paralyze it, and then it'll lay an egg in the tarantula and put it in the ground. And when that egg develops into the larval stage, it will eat the tarantula. And so these things just go around seeking out the spiders that they like to put them into the ground for their eggs. That may be its burrow right there. Or maybe it's going in for a spider. It's looking for a spider now. But they're so big, I mean, they're easy to follow. They don't fly really fast. And so you can spot them pretty easily. But for now, I've lost it. I came across something this morning that I wanted to share with you, and it's related to that tarantula hawk that we saw flying around the other day. In this same area where that tarantula hawk was flying around, right behind my barn, I found this morning. That is a tarantula, a smaller one, and you can see that it looks pretty lethargic, although it's still alive. You can see that it's still moving. And so I suspect that the tarantula hawk probably stung this one at some point overnight or this morning. And I found this small hole here. I'm not sure if that's its underground burrow or not, but this tarantula is probably well on its way to having an egg laid on it by the tarantula hawk so that the egg can develop into a larva. And when it develops into a larva, it will feast on the paralyzed tarantula as it's growing, and that'll be its food source. And it'll actually live on the tarantula and will not actually eat the critical organs. Believe it or not, it'll start with things that aren't critical. I don't know how it knows that, but that way it keeps the tarantula in an alive but paralyzed state for as long as possible. And so unfortunately, this little guy is not going to make it, but I wanted to show you that we do have tarantulas around here, and that tarantula hawk is probably not too far off. So if I can get a video of it later, I certainly will, but I just wanted to share that with you. I wanted to give you an update on the tarantula hawk situation. Unfortunately, it never came back and picked up that paralyzed tarantula. I was hoping that I would catch it on camera, trying to drag it back into its underground nest, but that never happened. But what I remembered is that a long time ago when I was living in Austin, I actually raised a tarantula. And if you don't know, tarantulas, as they get bigger, they molt. And they'll shed their skin, and the skin kind of eerily looks just like a tarantula from the bottom side. When you look at the top, you can see that, it clearly crawled out of that skin. But I had several stages of a tarantula molting that I wanted to show you, just to kind of give you an idea of how big tarantulas can get. And also, I did find a dead tarantula hawk lying around the property a few days ago. And I wanted to show you what that looks like in comparison so you can see how big it is. Because as I mentioned, tarantula hawks are a lot bigger than your normal wasp or yellow jacket. And people don't necessarily get a sense for how big they are because you can't pick up a live one, obviously, and just check it out. But this dead one I can put in my hand and you'll see the comparison to that tarantula that we found the other day that was paralyzed. So here are the moltings that I had stored away, and I want to show those to you. These are the moltings that I collected back when I was raising my tarantula in 2004 through 2006. And you can see how the tarantula got bigger and bigger and bigger every few months. And ultimately, the last one that I collected before it died was this one here in October of 2006. And I also have the tarantula hawk in there. I'll show you that in a second. But this was a tarantula that I found in Austin around my house. And at the time, I thought it was a male, so I named it Fred. And males are smaller than females in the tarantula world. And they also have other characteristics. Sometimes it's hard to tell if you have a male or a female until you see either them mating or you have babies all of a sudden in your terrarium. So I can't remember how exactly I figured it out, but over time, Fred became Frida. And you can see on here, this was my birthday gift from Frida on September 15 of 2005. So I had identified it as female by this point. And ultimately it got to this size here. And you can see that when it molts, it looks eerily like a complete tarantula from the bottom. And then from the top, you can see that it clearly crawled out through there. But I'm going to go ahead and open this up and show you both the tarantula and the tarantula hawk. Put those on the table here. It doesn't want to come out because it was so wide. It's probably since dried out. Let me see if I can coax this out here without breaking it. All right. So this was my tarantula's last shedding. And if you recall the tarantula that I saw out there on the ground that was paralyzed, it was considerably smaller than this one. But I just wanted to show you what a shed of a tarantula looks like. I mean, it's got the hairs on the legs still and everything. And if I turn it over, you can see it's still got the fangs, the pedipalps, which are these two things here, and only the back part, only that looks like it's, makes it appear that it's not complete. But it's kind of creepy looking. And then here is a tarantula hawk. And you can see how big that is in my palm compared to what you might be used to seeing with a normal wasp or a yellow jacket. So it is considerably larger. And it has a stinger, just like most of the other flying wasp-like insects. But the sting from this one is very powerful. I've seen videos of people who have gotten stung by this, and they say it radiates excruciating pain all up and down their arms. They sometimes have paralysis in their arms. And so it's not something that you want to mess with. And when they're flying around, they don't look like they're very agile. They kind of look like they're almost too heavy for flight. And so, sometimes you can get close to one, but you just don't want to reach out and try to snag it because they will sting if they are aggravated. They're normally not, real aggressive, but if one is threatened, it will sting. So in any event, I just wanted to show you what that looks like in comparison to a tarantula. And you can see that if you had something this big, it can certainly, if it causes that much pain in a human, it can easily paralyze a tarantula, even one that's a lot bigger. So I just wanted to share with you some of the moltings that I had collected way back when I was living in Austin and was raising a tarantula as a pet. I know that probably freaks a lot of you out, but it was actually pretty cool to see how that tarantula grew and to see it eat and all of that. So glad I got a chance to show that to you and also show you what a tarantula hawk looks like in terms of size. You can tell that it is pretty substantial as well, and so has no problem paralyzing a tarantula to create a food source for its young. So I hope this has been informative. Appreciate you guys watching, and if I have any updates or if I see a live tarantula hawk flying around, I'll try and do an updated video. So until then, take care. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give a thumbs up below. You can also check out one of my other videos here, and stay up to date by subscribing to my YouTube channel right here. Until next time, I'll see you on the ranch.